No, there is no better, and they never say I am better. I am above it. I have passed the test, and now I'm above it. In some of the stories, I want to go back to the breath of life, but in some of the stories of David that are told about him, in the Islamic records and also in Jewish records, in some accounts, he asked God and said, I want you to test me, for I want to be at least good or better than Abraham in some way. And he wanted to be tested. Well, if you want to be tested, you evidently doubt, don't you? And then you say he fell. And I would not jump to conclusions about that even so. But nevertheless, Christ said all things are forgiven, and you are unwilling to forgive. You have put things that are so far into the realm of non-forgiveness. That is what they do in outer darkness. Those are the types of beliefs they believe. And so do not buy into those beliefs. One time I'll tell you an account of what the general authorities do, and regional representatives and general authorities, and I think this was a general authority on this occasion, behind people's backs. I knew in the city where I lived a young man who had shot himself. And the sister in the church, his mother, was deeply distressed that she would not see him in the celestial kingdom. That she had lost her son and would not see him there. For you teach that she cannot go lower. And so she had been sealed to him in your temple, and she could not see him now. And he told her, don't be so sure. He said, it's going to be okay. And that is not Mormon doctrine. So I have a feeling that some of you also don't agree. You say the Lord is better than that. And the Lord is better than that. There is no better. But I believe you are, like they say, oftentimes you are children of a lesser God. I hate to say that. Don't be a child of a lesser God. And God is almighty. And that means you say he's almighty, the great I am. You say God is bound by rules. God makes the rules. And God can change his mind. It is so funny that people say, we can change our mind, but God cannot. Wow. There you go, man, exalting yourself higher than God again. We are able to say we will do this, and we can change our mind that day one more time. But God cannot change his mind. Wow. Do you use that to manipulate others? Oftentimes humans want to put God so bound. He's just so bound. He cannot do that. He cannot. Tell me what God is. And you'll, one more time, you will give me a whole list of things he is and is not. And the Almighty says, you know what? I am so mighty. I can do anything. Did you forget? You keep binding me and turning me into an idol, and then idling around this doctrine or that. I am even mightier than your docks, where you dock your ships, your doctrines. I am even more than where you moor yourselves, Mormons, and all others. You tie your ship into a moor, and then you say, that's just it. That's just it. And you make God to be so less. And oftentimes I wonder, are you trying to rule over God? Because God is the law, and he'll just simply say about your rule, overruled. Overruled. That one I can think I am as well, and God knows that. He is able to walk around and think he is you. You're not the only one who can walk around and think you are solely you, you S-O-L, son, you soul of souls, son of God. So, back to the breath. Adam was given the breath of God, the breath of life. Now I want you to think about these words. I am the way, the truth, and the life. He is the light and life of all men. Now who are we talking about? The Word. And the Word was God and was with God. Almost like the paper folds as the Father, which is a Son, by the way, so the Son can do the same thing as a sheet of paper. And when the paper folds, you see an increase, but yet that increase, that line, that EL, that L which means God, like in the Elohim, is one with that paper, which is what you call the Father. But remember, that paper is a son as well. So even the Son can do the same thing. So what is this breath of life? Christ said, Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. That is everything you call a life. Are you a life, not life? A means not, and it's stuck there in the beginning of English words for a reason, to make you think, but I don't think you actually think about it, you just say it. If you are a life, you are not life. For there's only one life, and it is the life. So you are the life. Every alpha has an A, every omega. This is a line, and that is fine, but it doesn't take the place of that which is all, that is the law, that is your true self, that is the one self, that is all. So love your neighbors as yourself, and that is why. So the breath, what did he give him? The Spirit. The Spirit is like inspiring, respiration, inspiration, this breath, this air, this H-E-I-R that is all around us, the soul air. And it's almost like the solar sect, a solar religion, the soul air that we even breathe. But that is the air we are as well. And this is what Christ says, I am the Word, and you say he is the air. And he is the soul air, and you are one with him, the air that is the soul air, you soul. So, what did he receive? Well, I'll let you think about that. The breath of life, and who was the life? The Word. You call the iron rod the Word of God, and you hold on to that Word. And through that Word, it leads you to the tree of life. So Adam received the breath of life, and you're going to the tree of life. And that is the true light and life of all men. But the tree is of life, and Jesus said, I am the life. But also the Word that was with God is Jesus as well. You refer to him, that soul of David, as the Word and the life of the tree. We do not make a Godhead out of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. One more time, that is called knowledge. You are not truly tarnished. Who would want you to think you are truly tarnished? Somebody who would want to damn you, and then base their godhood. A hood? I'm covered up? God cannot cover himself up, for that is a lie. If he was to cover himself up, he'd have to cover himself up with himself. But since he is one, it is still all. That is why God does not lie and does not cover up himself. This is not a cover-up. So, when do you actually leave the Word? You said the Word is God. That is Christ. That was the Word and is with God and is God. So as you hold that rod, the life that is the tree you are going to is the same thing as the rod. I know you're expecting to see a separate tree. Yes. But the tree is of the life, the tree of life. And the life is Christ, the Word, that was made flesh, that John talks about. I love John because it is like David and Jonathan. And the son of David loves John names. He loves all names, but for some reason there's a John and a David, and a son of David and a Jonathan and a John and a... So, where does the rod and the tree begin and end? I would like to tell you that as long as you are on the rod and you keep going, you don't make it a race. We're not trying to outstrip ourselves and run so fast and seek progress over process. If it's just a process, then what's the point, some may ask. And I just think that is the point. It is the iron rod that is always pointing, but never pointed. It is endless. You want to stick poles on it. I call the poles the sides then. The sides may be the poles.